Sounds like a good motto to me. I love it.
Welcome back. Maybe the best 2 nights back-to-back of the tour. Maybe the best 2 nights back-to-back of 4.0.
Maybe you're onto something there. Yeah. I mean, the jams were crazy. I think that's one of those that you'll talk about, reference, come back to for a while.
Yes, for
solid.
years.
Yeah,
for
solid.
years.
Congratulations to Tim on his 100th show tonight. And that was a hell of a show to get. So that's awesome.
Beautiful thing is, not the longest jams, some of them, but maybe top 5 versions of a bunch of songs. So
yeah.
Let's get into it. A neat thing is we had the Martian Monster and second instrumental to open, which is a double whammy. It's a good sign.
The double instrumental. And then a Mike song. I texted you. I was like, is this the longest we've ever gone without hearing Trey to open a show? Like, it was really fun without him like having his own song to start with or sing with or do anything with. It was really fun. We've talked about the instrumentals opening, and we even talked about this one in that rotation somewhere. And it's funny that it came out tonight as the opener. A lot of got your fill of samples. I feel like the samples have kind of weaned away and disappeared a little. You get a couple in Antelope now and then, and but for the most part, this song always has it. But I felt like you went a little nuts with it tonight. Like there was a lot of tribute shorts and things, and so fun though. 4 minutes, banging 4 minutes to open.
I think the most reliable sample these days is "They Attack" at the end of "Birds of a Feather."
Yeah.
Paige
totally.
Always hits that.
Totally.
I like Martian Monster. Fun song. Good for them for opening with it. And then, I mean, odd choice to go into 2001, but I was like, wow, are they going to maybe do an all-instrumental set? Are they really going to try to push
I know exactly that's what you were thinking. I didn't want to jinx it by texting you that, but I know exactly that was what you were thinking. Like, oh, is my finally going to get my all-instrumental? I knew you were going to think that. But how fun to do that back-to-back. An interesting way to get going and to start it and to have that in the 2 slot with the way the set lists have been. And we talked about, how it's been like that. So it's what song is in the 2 slot has been an interesting thing. So tonight, I love this one. I loved putting it in there.
Bomb coming in with a big, I like that because we got the little happy birthday tease in the one song.
Which
I forget what song
thank God we got the happy birthday tease and not a number line tonight. I feel like the summer tour birthdays get a little out of hand sometimes.
Chris was probably I don't want to. Chris was
I agree. I think he was like, don't make me light number line tonight, dude. Just throw a little tease somewhere in there for me, and that's cool.
Right. Or don't even say nothing. So at Lemon Wheel, right? We drive by to see if it's open yet, and there's 6 cars there. So we pull up. We're the 7th car in, right? We got 20 cases of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale and 20 cases of Sierra Nevada Porter. And we're sitting there, we set up, we start selling beer. This guy walks up, he's like, can you give me a couple beers? And I'm like, nah, dude. I was like, 2 for $5. And my buddy Pat comes over and he's like, hey, Chris, how you doing, man? Of course you can have a couple beer. My bad.
You're like, no, yeah, sure. My bad.
He was like, come find me at the sound stage and I'll get you backstage. And I was like, yeah, right. I'm going to go find you while you're working. All right, Mike Song. Huge Mike Song. Mike Song has been an all-star this summer. Just beautiful stuff.
I mean, 13 minutes with such a good jam in there. One of the first inklings of what was to come tonight was in that Mike's and where it went. And it was... Man, I had my fingers crossed. I was so just hoping we were going to drop into a hydrogen there and give me what I wanted. And it had such potential to do that too, because that jam just got so thick. And Mike, it was so good. I don't know. I was so disappointed we didn't get the straight run. It would have been such a perfect straight run through there. So then it kind of, filtered out into a Velvet Sea, which it was a great Velvet Sea. It was fine, but it's again a weird lead into Weekapaug because you kind of Velvet Sea kind of ends, and then Pog has to kind of start out of a dead dead gallop, basically.
Right.
Like, let's go, like start, So it's kind of, I don't know. But yeah, it worked. I would have rather had it the other way, but it was fun. And Pog again sounded like it should, right? I mean, it sounded like it should have had a little extra in that jam, I thought too, which made me even more upset that we didn't get the hydrogen, because the Mike's jam and the Pog little extra in there were so fun and so good. It sounded so right. It was just, I don't know.
How Weekapaug got its groove back. It's coming to a theater near you.
Maybe not having hydrogen in front of it was what they needed to do to get it back. Right. Maybe that's the thing. I'll look at it like Ghost Llama always tells me to look at it from like a different way. And maybe it's the fact that they needed something else in there to get it. So we'll take that as the reason.
I see. I think it's brilliant to stick a slow one in there in the middle. Velvet Sea. I used to like when they've done Life Boy before with it.
Life Boy. I know someone else said that earlier too, that goes in there. But how good is it when you get the hydrogen, Kev? I mean, come on. Like,
it is, but for their sake, I think they like to change it up.
Yeah,
I'm just glad we didn't end up with a week upon the end of the second set or something, that they kept it in a 3-song thing, even if it did have something different in the middle.
Yes. Yeah. Totally. We'll take that win for sure.
Right. Sand, middle of the set. Interesting. Again, not the longest sand ever. It's No Man, but used every minute of it, and I think that's enough sand at that point,
You got enough sand in you after that one?
I don't need Lawrence of Arabia.
Fourth one. So it's in that the fourth and fifth ones of kind of everything this tour have been elevated, so to speak, whether or not they go 20, 30 minutes or just come in at 8 to 11 and hit that sweet spot. They've been played enough where they get everything out of it at that point, regardless of how long it is. And this was a great example of that. I liked it. Had a lot in it without going overboard, and did what it needed to do in that spot after the Pog. So it was a good sort of that funk soundish like jam in there after, like, you kind of had that the whole set, right? With the Martian, the 2001, the Mike's bass at the beginning, the slow, and then the Pog into Sand. You kind of just had this whole groove going that whole first set. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, tempos were hot and urgent tonight. Totally. Dark Star Racing. Yes.
It was serviceable, Michael. Evolve, was just sitting there. We don't need to go through Evolve again. There wasn't anything special to it. But how they closed it out, 23 minutes of just nasty. I love No Man's being a closer. Good spot for it.
Yeah. It's kind of where it should live, I feel like, you know what I mean? Like we talk about those songs. I feel like this one, it's right there, Walls of Cave and Wave of Hope and those things. This one I like a little bit better than those, because this one has those two kind of, what you're getting inside of that with like kind of the raging jams and everything. And this one has more room to explore and find other areas in it, which I like, and then come back into a big closer type thing. Again, fourth, my friend. So, it was due and you kind of knew where you were going to get out of it. And that song has become a monster jam song. I mean, whether it's 20 minutes, 13 minutes, wherever that thing lands, they get into some really fun spaces in that thing. And yeah, we got 3 mics tonight.
I can't wait till Scott Marks comes on Wednesday so we can talk Fuego Jam and how any of these other My Friends they've done are different than the My Friend that night, because
every one of them and different from ones in the past. Like it's not anything. Oh yeah. They wanted, yeah.
What they want me to say also SPAC Zarathustra?
Yes. Nailed it. That was really good, Kev. Good job.
I read the book. That was one of the books I read when I was like 16.
That's one of those I figure you would be able to nail. It's the hard, like things like that
It's
are
the easy words I screw up. It's the
right.
easy
Exactly. Exactly.
I love my friend. My friend is a 4.0 MVP. It has become a
Agree. Yes.
monster since 23. It's just,
And it's one of those songs that has evolved really well and become something awesome in these later years for it. Like it's fantastic. No other song I think off of that album has grown into sort of that what it's become, I would say, of that
right.
time.
Well, yeah, most of the songs on that album are the way they are. Maze is maze, rift is
Right.
rift. It's set
Right.
in the way it is.
And you get them as they are, and like not much else to it. That song, you used to kind of get it with not a lot to it, but now, God, it goes and it's fantastic. So yeah, great way to book in that set with those two songs. I really like that ending, My Friend into No Man's. I thought that was really good, and that No Man's just shredded. So yeah,
that is what Scott actually explained it to me, that there were 16 bars, and I'm still gonna be that means it was a tease. Maybe it should be My Friend, Fuego, my friend. Fuego, my friend, Fuego, my friend. That's what we're going with. All right, like and subscribe if you're watching and you haven't already. If you're watching later, leave a comment. You should be watching it live though, because that's where everybody has fun with the comments. Chatting away. Tomorrow we have something coming out about Dome Fest. You're going to want to check that out. And Wednesday we're going to have a great interview with a guy, Michael Ayers, has a book called Sharon in the Groove about the early years of the jam band phenomenon. It should
great
be
guy.
fun.
Good interview. That was a lot of fun. The book is really interesting. It's basically written just as kind of like transcript. It's basically just all like Tom Marshall, Trey, Tomo, the guys from like everyone from God Street Wine, like Chris Barron, Spin Doctor, like, and they just kind of tell the stories of those years of getting the jam scene together. It's really fascinating. It was really cool talking to that guy. So it's a really good interview.
And we got to talk about the Spin Doctors some, and in an alternate universe, if the Spin Doctors could have become Phish.
That's right. One of our big theories, our big alternate timeline theories that we used to talk about. Also, Kev, what else is on Wednesday? We have Scott coming on.
Scott Thursday, we're going to do a lot for the Dead and Company, and hopefully we're going to have somebody join us, maybe a couple people.
Yeah, and then we'll be doing the Dead and Co. after shows and talking about the opening acts and the Dead and Co. shows. So it's going to be a busy week this week with the Scots on Wednesday night to go over summer tour, and then the lot, and then Dead and Co. So check it all out. Nice.
Oh, yes, we have got a Cross-Eyed this tour.
Yeah,
we have gone. I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, Jason, that 20-minute Two Princes is fantastic.
Dude, when the Spin Doctors go type 2, watch the fuck out.
Yeah, watch out.
No, but it's a really interesting story. Like, he brings up a good point about them and how hard it was once they kind of broke through, not really thinking they would break through, and then doing that, and kind of cautionary tale that happened. Like, it's all very cool.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly.
You got what you wanted, but you lost what you had. Oblivion. This is the Oblivion. I'm so glad that they did a huge Oblivion for Tim, because he always says, I love the song. I just want every drop of oil out of it, so to speak. And
always complains that they're always too short, and why don't they jam it out? And what happened to the Oblivion? So he got it tonight. I mean, and what a first one you got to go back and re-listen to, but this whole second set you got to go back, I think, and really re-listen. Actually, both these two nights you kind of got to go back and re-listen to after all this, because this one, I mean, just in my notes, the Bliss at like the 15-16 minute mark was phenomenal. I loved where we came out on that first half of that Type 2 jam, and then it started to change a bit. Fishman started pushing a little faster. It sort of pushed everybody into a different direction. And then those Trey licks, like literally a minute and a half later, where he just started like peaking it right before everything else like shifted. And Mike dropped that weird bass line that sort of set the table for Disease. and you kind of knew it was coming because of that, but then it sort of like died down. You're like, oh, now we're getting into that like that funky space before Disease starts. But man, that Oblivion had a lot going on, and it was awesome. That was the first part of this where you're like, okay, so here comes the like the 3-4 song run of the second set that is going to be jam infused with goodness.
It was a very it was a portent, I guess, of what was to come with the darkness in it. This was not going to be a bliss night. Even the light wasn't blissy, which I absolutely love.
But it was so nice because you had your moments of bliss though that like totally got out there, and then you had moments of like space, basically, you know, like you got into like
the Down with Disease. This is just another fantastic Down with Disease. I think it might be my favorite out of the ones this tour. It isn't the longest one they did, but again, it's using every minute and full on space. Somebody said they'd seen Fishman use them Marimba Lumina before outside of Petrichor or Son of a Mule or
they said Yem Jam and a Disease Jam at some point he did it in before. But yeah,
it was so fantastic that they went total space. They let it go. You could tell Trey was not quite sure what to do. He wasn't rapid firing. He wasn't strumming. He was just droning notes out. You know, touched on the ambient but darker.
That's exactly what I wrote down. I think you hit that usual, like when they hit that key change in that jam, you know, we're going somewhere. And at like that 14-minute mark, we had the synths and the noises, started another build, and that peak 4 minutes, 5 minutes later, about 18 minutes, that built out of one of those page sort of synth, weird bass and drum sounds type thing. Around 19 minutes got crazy. That thing they hit at 19 minutes with the lights behind them. I don't know if you saw that, but like the webcast did a great job of like actually showing the lights at that moment. And the way he had them, it was phenomenal. Like, I mean, I can't even imagine being in the building, seeing that happen live and hearing it. You guys had to be like melting your brains because that was so sick just watching it from the couch. It looked awesome. And
the poor people on the lawn.
We got some crazy sci-fi sound effects like out of the 50s. I love when they do those woo, 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 like it's sort of like sci-fi movie from like I love it. It gets so crazy. And then we kind of slowly broke out of that, started searching around for like something new, and that's when it really broke down. And I thought of you, and I was like, Kev's got to be loving this because we've completely like this is where you kind of
they're like no longer playing anything.
Right, you come out of hyperspace and you kind of just break through the next barrier, and then you're just kind of like out there, and you're like, "Well, whoops, we went past everything. Now we got to go back. Like, where are we?" And it just sat in there forever, though. It just felt like you were in this like zero gravity, weird space of just kind of like floating around. And then Light was like the perfect answer to like where we were from the breakdown and the way Light begins. It was such a great beginning to it. Plus it just made sense because you kind of, like I said, got out into this darkness and this weird place, and then you needed the light to come back. So that's one of those things where I love the story.
The light didn't get blissy though. It stayed in a more mid place, and
it only at 12 minutes I felt like, again, because you had Paige doing this crazy pounding in that Disease in that one part of that jam, just going crazy on the piano, and this light picked up right in that jam. That jam sort of continued out of that because he started pounding away on the piano again at like the 9-minute mark, and that again pushed them all into this crazy like fury almost. But then that was all like the re-entry led by Paige back into Light. I thought was fabulous. Like it sounded out of that chaos and that shit. Just he kind of brought him back in and dropped it right back in. And the way they were all playing together was fantastic. The end also reminded me very much of the Dead, and I mentioned this in the chat on the Discord. It was like very Bobby with their like singing out the things. It got a little Velveeta. They immediately thought Velveeta on Phish going Bobby.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. It was awesome.
Right. Life-Saving Gun is a fantastic song. And really a superb version. There were so many like versions. I think if you go back and you're like look at over the whole tour, you're going to come to this show and find it getting a lot of the nods.
You know why
I
like
Guns it what
well,
3 or 4 times. Yeah.
And this one in this spot, I felt like you got a little bit of it in that light, like I said, with the way Paige came back in and guided him through back in. But I felt like this one, I called this the Gumbo Jam, just because not because it sounded like anything in Gumbo, but it sounded like all of these other 3 songs ahead of it, those jams mixed into this one in this one. It was like this was the culmination of those first 3 songs, and their jams came through in this one. So I was like, oh, this is totally a mix of everything else we just heard in the best possible way. Like it was like, take a little this, take a little that, take a little this, and fucking go with it. It was so good. Like Paige crushed again through like that 7 to 8 minute mark. They're flying through his trays, just cruising through those guitar licks at that moment. Phish driving the bus to Jamtopia, drink. It was amazing. Like I loved it. I loved it. The peak, the white lights that we got at 12, 13 minutes without of that life-saving gun, which then just sort of unfinished. We didn't have to come back into it, which was nice. I like that. I like that we don't always have to re-enter.
Did they finish down with Disease and go into a jam, or did they leave that open too?
They left it open too, because it dropped, kind of fizzled into that light, which was nice. We got 2 of those in that second set without having to do the re-entries, whereas the re-entries have really picked up recently and have gotten a lot more sound. I feel like tonight was fun dropping out of those and not having to go back into it and just letting the song kind of find its way into something else.
No, there you go. Waste, I think, is what more could you ask for to land? I guess we could ask for Joy because that's what Tim wanted to hear.
Yeah, because Tim. Maybe he'll get it tomorrow night.
Right. Waste is a great song. Visions of Dave Matthews.
Perfect spot for it, though. I mean, what else do you want right there? Like, it's one of the best slow down, cool down ballads that they have. And, it's I always say those single word song, light, waste, ghost, taste.
So it's a very cool turn of a phrase. Come waste your time with me. That's, I like the lyrics. So it rings true, I guess. The Fluffhead, this might have been the best Fluffhead all tour.
Yeah. The extra mustard at the end was fantastic. The jam was great. They kind of nailed everything through it, ripped the shit out of the end of it. And again, the 4th one. So there you go. You play it a few times and you can rip it. I like of course, the New York line. I love it when he says that. He's done that at MSG a few times. Fluff went to New York. It's always fun. That's when you kind of know Trey's having really a good time, when he goes ahead and throws those kind of things at you and at the crowd and like gives that play at it. It's very fun. And yeah, excellent, executed perfectly. Fluff. I agree. Fantastic. And the best white lights, right? You guys, you know me, I always talk about it. The best white lights in the business.
Put those everything right lights to shame from last night.
It's a shame. There's only 2 that do it like Antelope and Fluff, and they're the best.
And Golgi.
The best. Yes. Coming up next. Those are the 3, but those, yeah.
If we only had got the Antelope encore tonight, could have just let CK5 white light.
I said that. How great was this, though? I mean, even throwing in Oblivion and Life Saving Gun into this set that was mostly all 1.0 songs. Those didn't affect it in any kind of negative way. You wouldn't be like, oh, it's too bad they put this in here because it kind of disrupted the flow of what we were doing. All these songs worked so great together, and it was such a smooth ripping set. It was awesome. And then to get the encore
and a great career overview. If you look at it, from the newest stuff to some of the middle to the early stuff,
And then just to put Golgi and rock and roll in there.
And there's your cover. They threw one cover in for the encore, which is perfect. Maybe that's the way it should be structured. One rocker, one cover for the encore, and you just do your sets, because the whole rest of the show was all their tunes.
And it was, I mentioned the other night that I love Oh Sweet Nothing again. Like, that's my Velvet Underground song, and I wish that would come back like anytime, anywhere. And we talked about this one gets it a lot like rock and roll, but man, when they kick ass with it like this, it's so good. Yeah.
Light is early 3.0, so that for me is the middle
of it.
Because 3.0 was however many years. And now we're into the next thing. We're 15 years in now since they got back together.
Yeah.
Before that, you had like 17 years total. playing. I mean, not years when they
Yeah.
were off.
Mhm,
2001, Kev. What do you guys? So I did good with the Down with Disease at set break. I didn't cut the clip, but
You did. You got that one. And I was really hoping to get a Good Times, Bad Times in that encore slot tonight. Like that's what I was hoping for. But we got the Rock and Roll as the cover, and it was ripping.
there was some
so it was
no
fun.
quarter. There was a little no quarter in there at one point in that Down with Disease from Page.
There was.
He was like, "Hey guys, remember me?"
Remember me? What do you mean? He's gotten all the attention over the last few nights. It's all been Page. It's the Page show. Are you kidding? Come on, throwing out the pitch, getting his lawn boy.
We got one more. Wow, that's crazy. 23 shows. This is the 22nd time we've done this year for this tour.
It feels like it.
Yeah, you want to close this out?
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's my new job. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did. A lot of fun. Great first 2 nights. Let's close it out tomorrow night with something special and have a blast watching. We will see you tomorrow. Close it, Kev.
Tweezer opener tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, let's fit in one more bit and then maybe we'll get out of here.
And now, Heads in Space. Heads in Space. Heads in Space.
So good.